There was once this beautiful world where everything was ready for me. I was told what to do, where to go, why, how. Everybody was taking care of me. Everybody was careful about me. When I make something bad, things were going very, very soft. And then I grew up. After that, that just stopped being a thing. And it turns out it's just not an illusion, but a lie. The world we see is being present to look great. So these are the times when we don't understand anything, right? We learn, but and everything around us is being present to be as best as possible. Everybody's being careful with you. Everybody's trying to give you the best thing. And then when you grow up, nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares anymore, and like with a simple thing like food, for example, when you're a child, even the food you're given is carefully selected. Less chemicals in it. We're talking about baby food. Less chemicals in it. Make sure it's all up to date, carefully selected. But when you grow up, like, people really give you stuff with chemicals in it, and like nobody would even care if they sell you unexpired food or a drink. That's okay. We can get the money for that. You have fun. You have fun later when you consume that. When you're a child and you don't know something, you go ask some adult, and most of the time people will come to you careful and tell you, yeah, it's like this, it's like that. But when you grow old, you ask somebody for something. I don't have time. I don't have time. Go learn it. I don't care. You can look it up somewhere in the website or in the internet. Yeah, you can look it up in the internet. The world really changes when you grow old, when you become an adult. And some people are having easier time adapting to that, some are having harder time. But I've been questioning myself, why do we make this illusion, this lie for the kids when the reality is much different? Which brings me to the idea, what if we want to make the perfect child, the perfect human being? Because you see, when you're younger in school still, when you make a mistake somewhere, maybe you hit another child, or I don't know, you break something, it is not you that is going to take all the blame. It's going to be your parents. Your parents will be called, and they will be reliable. They will be held reliable for the problems because they didn't teach you, right? It's their problem. How can you not control your child, right? With homework, even, like, why why did you not teach your child to do the homework? If you keep going to school without doing your homework, your parents are being called, and now the teachers are trying to tell them that you're not doing that, and they have to fix that. It's parenting problem. But when you grow old, you go to workplace somewhere, you make a mistake. Well, now that's a you problem. It's your problem. You apply to some job and they didn't call you. You don't have the education for that. That is a you problem too. You didn't do the education. You didn't go to the set university. You don't have the required grade. Here the question is not why, it's why you didn't do it. But again, all of these issues, all these requirements that you don't have, it's all thrown to you. You didn't learn it, right? You didn't do it, but there are so many reasons behind that why you didn't learn something, why you don't have a grade. And I think it always comes down to actually where you're born and who is teaching you as a child. I guess if you get born in a very wealthy family, maybe you're living in a castle or something, how do you think the percentage of not finishing a school and university with very good grades is low? It is very likely that they will finish that, but what is the chances that somebody born in a regular family with parents that work from 9 to 5 is going to achieve a good grade and going to finish a good university? The chances now are much lower. Like, even if we pack 10 kids from a regular family, how many of them are likely to finish a good university or any university at all? I think the chances are very low. And I think it always comes down to what is built in earlier. Because some kids are being abused, and even from very early age, they kind of develop this idea of doing things alone, on their own, running away, they're on their own, they know how to do things now. While others are being overly protected from anything. If they go to the park to play with other kids, maybe their parents are going with them just to be careful that the other kid doesn't hit them or doesn't poke them in the eye by an accident. They want to guard it, which is fine, I get that. But when doing so, the child develops a different idea of how things work. Then when the child wants to do something, it's being told, you ask me if you want to go there, ask me, otherwise, they yell to him. So now he knows to ask when he grows up. He develops he has this idea of always asking, getting the green light from people before doing something. So I think there is a lot more about how to raise a child than just make one child and feed him, dress him up, and send him to school. I think there is a lot of things about raising a child. And here is one strange idea that I've been having. What if we just isolate one newborn away from the world and we just teach them from the very beginning about how life is fully curated experience, and it just presents the whole world as it is, We just present to that child the raw world as it is. No toys, no car toys, no dolls, no candies and stuff like that. Anything he needs from the very early age. And I think this will create a perfect human being. If you map every single step of his development, like every single day, what you do and what has to be done, I think a perfect human being will be created. But probably there are people who do that already in more wealthy families. We just cannot see it. I think probably like if, for example, if a king is having a child, probably they're being raised similar way. They're just being prepared from early age to be king, to be different from the others. Probably this is a close example. But on the other hand, if you throw a child without any early education, if you throw them away, and even if you let them do things on their own, again, they will not be fully prepared for this world. I mean, they will probably survive, yes, but that's about it. They cannot reach up high because they're not prepared. They don't know how things work, and when they start learning, it might be a little bit too late to get a grasp. And again, even if they do get a grasp, you have things that we expect from people on a certain age. If you're in the age around 25, we expect you to have a grade from university. We expect you to have probably 6 years of work experience somewhere. We expect you to have built, 20 things on your own. We expect you to be a unicorn. But and then if you grow up, you're in a certain age, and people look at you, oh, you don't have this, you don't have that, and you're that old? Oh, no. You're not okay. Not okay. So I'm thinking like the earlier we start teaching child about the world and how the things are, the earlier they develop an idea about that, the better of a human they can become. Because after all, if we don't like when our kids is watching things like Cocomelon or playing video games on 5 years old age, then why did we show them these things? Why did we present them these things in the first place? A child, a human being, can be equally happy with anything, whether it's watching a TV, whether it's playing or crafting something, or even working on something. The difference is when you present things, more and more things, they make comparison, and now they choose the thing that actually can be very big downside. Because think about it like this: if you teach a young person to do music, maybe play piano, for example, or even electronic music, completely possible. Instead of giving them toys, instead of giving them cars or dolls or watching TV, they can just learn. Give them the basics, how to learn to do music or play a piano, and let them just do this. Instead of playing with toys, they can just play piano or do music. For them, it will be completely different because they won't know that Cocomelon exists or video games exist. They will know that later on when they go to school and when they hear that from their classmates. But they already have developed the idea of something else, something much more important than sitting and watching, which develops nothing. So I think it's completely possible to make somewhat perfect human being. And I think what we as humans, as people right now, is really based on what we've been presented in our early age. What kind of habits we've developed throughout our early age. We know that when you take something away from a child, a toy, a TV program, they start crying. But you did this. You gave the child a toy. You put the child in front of the TV. And now they want that back. What if you didn't show that to them? What if you gave them something else? Something that can be very useful throughout their entire life. If you take it away, they will cry again. But then you can return it and they will be happy. And you will be happy knowing that you developed a skill that can help them throughout their entire life. And I think this is really crucial, because everybody knows how hard it is to change ourselves, how hard it is to learn something, especially in an era where we live, in an era where our attention span is so low, where every 5 minutes you just want to open YouTube and scroll down 20 YouTube shorts, and before you know it, 30 minutes has passed and you've done nothing at your work. So if you don't like what you do and you cannot change it, at least try to do better with your kids. It is actually really possible. Just don't expose them to things that are not necessary, the things that are actually bad.